Hi, everybody, and hi, my beautiful, stunningly beautiful cosmic sister and soul sister, all the way from Arizona, Mesa, Arizona, Miss Karine, and myself, Anne, from Greece. Still getting hot here. And welcome to you, everybody, luminous hearts, to another shimmering gathering of the Cosmic Sister Show with Karine and Anne, a sacred space where light expands, truth awakens, and horizons glow with infinite possibility. I love that. Tonight, we journey beyond the familiar into the radiant unknown, the place where courage meets creation, and every step becomes a spark of transformation. Illuminating horizons is not just a theme, it's a call to rise, to remember the brilliance within, and to walk together towards a world woven in love, clarity, and grace. Let your spirit breathe, let your vision unfold, and together we travel the luminous path, one heartbeat, one horizon, one radiant world. How about that? I love that. And today we have Wednesday, August 12th in US and Europe, and our future Australia, August 13th. I just love the number 13. That's my lucky number, to be honest.
Yes.
Specifically Friday, 13th. How about that? And again, we're going to talk about illuminating horizons, the journey to a radiant world. And your questions, if you want to ask anything, just show yourself. Post something in the chat so we see you are here with us. Don't be shy. Last show on with Cosmic Sis-Stars was last Wednesday, August 5th, and we talked about the magnetic, mysterious, and sometimes maddening energy of obsession, and that was a really great show too.
Yes.
What is obsession? Is it only negative or can it be positive? We do go live on YouTube for you every week at youtube.com/at Cosmic Guardians 111/streams and youtube.com/at Angel Place on Earth/streams. And we stream the replay right after the show at facebook.com/Cosmic Guardians. And let's take a soft breath and arrive fully into this moment to dive deep, deep, deep into today's show.
Fantastic. And I'm going to invite everyone to just put their hands on their heart. And as we breathe, imagine that you are breathing directly into the heart and letting that heart expand and feeling all of the divinity that we have within us that is concentrated in this area. Blessings. Okay.
Beautiful. Thank
All
you.
right. Okay. What if you looked at the stars and saw yourself? What if you felt the warmth of the sun and saw yourself? What if you experienced the moonlight and knew that you were one with all? Our species has been given this incredible luminous spark of divinity at our conception millions of years ago. We were given this luminous spark that is part of our DNA, that connects us directly with the brilliant energy of the stars of all creation. And this inner light is our illumination. We were created to carry within us the blueprints of the cosmos. We are the walking DNA of all creation. We are the eternal light, and we are the luminous beings capable of miracles and co-creation. How's that for
Beautiful.
a starter?
That's a great start. Wow. Thank you. And the beautiful meditation that you brought us into. Short and good, straight to the point.
Straight to the heart.
Exactly. So we all encounter moments um, in our evolution as human beings and as souls when the horizon begins to glow with a light that feels both familiar and entirely new. Mostly entirely new because it's not something we are deliberately taught in this world, right? But we
Not at all.
resonate with it because we can sense it within. It is the quiet dawning of a deeper truth, the recognition that the world you see is only a fraction of the world you are capable of creating. So when we say that we can create anything, that's true. But
Mhm.
we have it harder to create that which we have no experience of, meaning that that is something that is unfamiliar. So that is harder for us to grasp. Doesn't mean it's impossible because it's so possible. And when we understand that we only see a fraction, it is the beginning of illumination, the gentle awakening that invites us to step beyond the boundaries of what has been and into the radiant potential of what we can, because we can. Say it,
Yes.
I can.
I did it incorrectly. It's
Okay,
I can,
I
not this way.
can. Yes,
I can. Sign language.
yes,
Yes.
sign language. A radiant world is not built through force or striving. It emerges through clarity, intention, and the willingness to expand your inner landscape. Without that expansion or the willingness for it, because when we have the willingness, we can't escape expansion because we want it and it's going to
Yes.
come. When your inner horizon brightens, your outer world begins to shift in response because you did expand and now your vibration is different and therefore you are going to experience things differently. You start to see possibilities where you once saw limitations. You feel guidance where you once felt confusion. You sense a greater intelligence moving through your life, shaping your path with precision and grace.
That and that is the journey that um, you know how I love referring back to children. And it's funny, having had 6 children, you would think that I never wanted to go back to infancy again with my thoughts. But at that point, they are still really completely luminous beings with no uh, predictions and no prejudice and no have tos. They just radiate. And then we kind of forget, and then we have to spend a lifetime trying to get back to that. And our inner light, this is something that can be felt and seen by others around us, felt and acknowledged by plants, by animals, especially babies, and by people who are blocked by the heavier energies. And artists would draw pictures of illuminated people, enlightened people that were surrounded by halos, because that luminous being just couldn't stay confined anymore, and was brilliant. I was working with a client, and this has happened several times. And all of a sudden they would just stop and just look at me, and I would go, okay, something, you know, where it's not supposed to be. And they said, you're shining. You're just glowing. And at those moments, I would completely reconnect with my luminous being, and I wouldn't have any restraints in trying to keep it in this physical form. But this internal glow, it's been feared, it's been persecuted, deliberately held down. And people have forgotten that the light comes from within, not from out there. And we learn to survive, which we've talked about many, many times, and hide our natural gift, which is our direct connection to all of creation.
Yes, it is. It is.
Yeah.
And we said it a million times probably. It's not out
Yeah.
there. From in here. And when it comes from inside of you, what you perceive in the world changes. It's not that like the world changes, but your perception of it changes. And
Yes.
that's important. So as you illuminate your inner world, you begin to understand that every thought, every emotion, every choice contributes to the collective field. Your clarity becomes a beacon. Your presence becomes a stabilizing force. Your authenticity becomes an invitation for others to rise because people see, oh, she's glowing or she has something. I want
Yeah.
what she has. And that's contagious. I love that.
Yes.
A radiant world is not created by one person alone. It is shaped by the resonance of many hearts choosing truth, compassion, and conscious awareness. That's
Yeah.
important, right?
Yes. And many times I've had people look at me and say, and they cock their head a little bit and they go, "You're real." And I'm taken aback by that, and I go, "Yeah, I, last time I checked, I was real." And they would say, "No, your energy is real." And I realized that at those moments, I was just, as they say, let it all hang out, and it was almost as if I was being, not that I look for validation, but it was as if I was being validated. You are real. We can feel what you are. You're not just trying to sell a bill of goods.
Yeah.
And that was the, I think, probably the greatest compliment that I'd ever had, that I was real. But when we do allow this light to glow, then everybody benefits. And you know how I like to jump back into the science, and scientists, and all of a sudden they go, "Oh, we just discovered," and I go, "Well, where were you 10,000 years ago when they were teaching this in Egypt? You missed that class." But science finally has admitted that there is a glow that all the bodies put off. I mean, they use it with EKGs and all of these other things, but they wouldn't admit that it was something ethereal. And now they have finally said that at a person's death, that glow goes away. And I laugh at their simplicity and their um, venturing out to do something that they all probably knew, but they were too afraid to say about. So I do. I just chuckle when they go, "Oh, we just discovered this," and I'm going, "Okay,
Yeah. Um, in our world, everything has to be, you be able to touch, taste, see, smell, feel.
Yeah.
feel the texture of something, or something really
Right.
physical. So it has taken them a long time, but of course you could also, that glow, you could express that as the aura as well, right?
Oh, it is. Yeah, it is the aura. The aura just lights up, and that's why it shimmers, because
Yeah,
it's not just, gee, there's a white light, there's a yellow light, there's a this, because it's luminescent, and and because it has this um, opalescent quality to it, and it picks up all the different colors as they shimmer, and that's why I'm getting really, where I really love to wear the iridescent clothing, because it feels like an extension of me, and so
that's beautiful.
it's
And
just
my Reiki teacher, I took the first class 2001 in the autumn, and then I found her 2016, um, because I wanted to find her. I didn't want to go to someone else.
yeah,
And she was stunned. So I took my second. I haven't gone to become a master, to be honest.
yeah,
I could have, but it's not. I wasn't drawn to that anyway. She says that when she goes somewhere, she's blowing up her aura, and one can do that. It's not
yes,
a bad thing when we are authentic beings, radiating love and awareness, taking that space, because that thing by itself pushes away negative things, right?
yeah,
That's a good
yeah,
thing. And you feel better. And it's when you are spreading um, your light, because it's contagious. It goes like ripple effects on water, right?
yeah,
So I'm spreading it to someone. When I talk to people over the phone, I mean clients, sometimes or many times they cry when they call, and they leave half an hour later, and they are laughing, and
yes,
it warms my heart, because they get something. Sometimes, because as intuitive advisors or healers or whatever you want to call us, we can't do anything for someone else, but we can open the doors, and we can show them, and we can make them feel at that moment a little bit better, to have
yes,
some energy, right? Just want to say one thing. The journey toward a radiant world is actually asking you to release the weight of your old stories.
right,
It invites you to step out of patterns that dim your light. It encourages you to trust the intelligence of your own soul, even when the path ahead is not fully visible. And this is the difficult part for many. Well, I want to know exactly what's going to come in a week, next day, or in a month, right?
I'm sorry,
But here's the thing, illumination is not about perfection, it is about alignment. It is about choosing to walk with integrity, openness, and courage to be you. And a big part of this is, who are you deep
yes,
down?
yes. Um, what was I was responding to what you were saying, and in my master training, we were discussing the illumination of the soul, and the person that was doing the training with me, I said, well, I've never felt that, and she looked at me and she had this shock. She said, what do you mean? She said, when we were at this class, everywhere that I was, you were, and you were just filling the whole room. And I said, no, I didn't. I didn't, and I'm not going to do this. And then I started thinking about it, and I thought, I wonder. And I was at that time I was single, so I was going to go to a singles dance, and my friend was waiting for me. And I got there, and as usual, all the men are kind of around the dance floor. They're kind of, watching all the ladies dance and everything else. And I saw my friend, and I started to walk towards her. I swear, the group of men parted like the Red Sea. And I walked past, and I'm going, well, that was interesting. And I sat down, and I'm still grinning from ear to ear. And I'm going, because I couldn't tell her what I was, because I wasn't doing anything. I was just not doing this. And eventually somebody came up and asked me to dance. And usually at those things, they're going to hold you as close as they can, right? And there's a space like this between us, and we're dancing. And he looks at me, and he says, do you realize that you're a very powerful woman? And I just looked up at him very nonchalantly, and I said, well, does that bother you? And he goes, no. But he never asked me to dance again. And I realized that something really physically was happening. That was the first time that I was aware that I had a presence that was way beyond the body. And and our radiance is more than the sun. And that illumination is felt beyond the words. That's why when you speak to people on the phone, they feel
Yes,
going on. It heals, it restores, it ignites the sounds of creations. And for those who have forgotten their true essence, this journey of reconnection brings them to their true, authentic self. And we are all on the same path. We just emerge at different times.
exactly.
Yes.
Beautiful. And because no one can do this work for us, we have to do this work ourselves. And in the
Yeah.
beginning, it can feel extremely confusing. What are they talking about? I remember I went to Medium. This is, oh my goodness, over 30 years ago, and maybe 40 even. And she said to me, don't hold on to the edges, go with the flow. And I didn't want to sound, non-aware, so I didn't ask what that was all about. But I chewed on that for kind of a long period. What does it really mean to go with the flow, right?
Ah,
So because when you illuminate your horizons, you begin to see that every challenge, every experience carries a hidden gift. Many things may actually look very challenging at the surface, but afterwards you understand that something good came out of that, even though it didn't look very brilliant from the beginning. Every ending holds the seed of a beginning, because everything is in cycles in our world, right?
yeah,
Seasons, cycles, the monthly cycle for women, all the seasons of the year, you name it, the moon cycles.
right.
Every moment of uncertainty is a doorway into deeper wisdom. And that uncertainty is usually when we find ourselves in the stillness, which as human beings, we feel uncomfortable. We don't want to stay there. I want to know. I don't want to be here in this. And when we are in that place of resistance, we create more of that, right? More of that
Hmm.
stillness. But in the stillness, there's a lot of information. And things are kind of cooking together, coming along to create something, right?
Yes.
And hang on, sorry. Um, when you learn to navigate life not from fear but from your presence, being in the present moments, not from reaction, but from inner knowing, not from scarcity, but from the abundance of your own radiant essence. This is the aha moment. And this is what we mean, which we also said so many times: take a step back, be the observer when you don't know. Don't feel uncomfortable in that
Yeah.
moment, because in the silence, and when in the times of life when things seem to be standing still, there's a whole lot going on. Go within
Yep.
those moments. Yes, please.
Yes. And it sometimes feels that, this is a foreign conception. But as the cracks begin to form in this hard crust that we put around us, and the light begins to move out, and then the cracks get a little bit bigger, and that radiant expression will appear in its own perfect time. And I love it because we've spoken about this a lot. It sometimes appears that we know it all, that we've got it. We don't need that's we got this handled, and we are constantly being given new adventures to explore. And
Yes, we
and
are.
it, yeah, and it shows up in mysterious ways. I mean, sometimes you get restless, sometimes a feeling of you need to get out of doing what you do just constantly. But these are those little cracks that are starting to move through that veneer and say, there's more to you. We're here. We're expanding, we're expressing. And it it's a beautiful journey. And then when you start seeing the results of the expression of your own self, it really it's like getting to know yourself all over again, because you're communicating with the authentic person then.
Exactly. And also, because we are all connected, a radiant world is born from individuals who choose to embody their light.
Yep.
I mean, it's not a one person thing, and we're never ever alone. It is shaped by those who dare to imagine a future rooted in harmony rather than conflict, to focus on the harmony part,
Yeah.
unity rather than division, expansion rather than contraction. It is created by souls who understand that their inner transformation is inseparable from the transformation of the world. But the thing that we feel as human beings and one soul in this world is that, how can I change anything? I'm only one person, right? And I heard that so many times.
Yeah.
Yes, you're only one person, but if you consider what we talked about previously here, the ripple effects of your light, you contribute. And when you do your open heart meditation on Tuesdays, right,
Hmm.
at your place. By the way, you can find Miss Corrine at liquidenergyhealing.com. Don't miss out on her Tuesday open heart meditations. If you are close to Mesa, Arizona, please connect with her, because one person that opens their heart in that way, deep,
Hmm.
can affect 1,000 others. One person
Exactly.
can affect 1,000 others. And that has been scientifically proved, right?
Yes. We had 6 people here last night, so that was 6,000 souls that were receiving this luminous energy. Yeah.
Beautiful. And you are not alone. You are a part of this unfolding. Your light matters, your clarity matters, your willingness to rise matters. And each and every step you take toward your own illumination brightens the path for others. Every breath you take in awareness strengthens the collective field, the field.
The
Every
field.
act of compassion, every moment of truth, every choice rooted in love contributes to the radiant world we all are here to build together, right? So if we
Exactly.
think in those terms, well, I'm only one soul, what can I change? Yeah, it starts somewhere, and the more people, the more the change is coming, and a lot of people are awakening now. So in a little bit we're going to talk about the Lion's Gate as well.
Yes. And it's interesting what you said about the clarity. Um, I find that when people are emerging from the darkness and allowing the light to flow forward, uh, they'll use expressions like, it's like seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. It's the description that people have when they are leaving the heaviness of this world and moving into the light, that you feel like you're being drawn to the light. Well, we've been taught so long that the light is out here that we don't have it. But what happens when you realize the light is within and then opens things up? You're seeing things from a different perspective, and you realize that you are the light. You are the creation. And this illumination, it brings so many blessings to yourself and to all around, because we offer a ray of hope, unconditional, non-judgmental conversations. And these are very important in navigating, especially now. And I realize that it's very hard for people that are finding that they are the illuminous part of the equation.
Yeah.
And then they try to communicate with people that haven't quite gotten that note, or what is it, gotten the memo. And it kind of slows them down, because they say nobody understands. And I said, but just keep moving, because you will find those other luminous beings. Obvious, we're all luminous beings, but the ones that are obviously knowing that they are part of, I don't like to use the word greater, because we are all great, um, part of something that is universal, something that is beyond our conception. And we contribute to that.
We
without
do.
without our little light,
Yes.
without our candle,
Yes.
there would be a darkness in the space that represents us. So every candle, every soul is important to the whole creation.
It is indeed. And I want to touch a little bit on a part that when we are expanding, when we are opening up, we as sensitive beings and with all our, senses, like we pick up things, the energy, things of that nature, right? That means that we are going to pick up all of it. And sometimes that does not feel comfortable.
It's
And
true.
in the process, it's kind of common that you, at a time that can be a few years sometimes, for some people it's shorter, for some people it's longer. When you avoid certain places because you feel uncomfortable, because I just can't take that, to pick up all that energy. Well, the good news is that the more you work on this part of yourself, the stronger your light becomes. You are still going to pick up everything, but your response to those things, you're going to notice them, you see them, but it's not going to get to you. That's the important part, right? You are
Right.
becoming a master of this part of your life and yourself. So keep on shining, you know. That is the only remedy.
Yep.
And I want to say that um, the horizon is glowing, the path is opening, the world is ready for your light. So go on, get out there.
Now let me think. Are you sure about that? Maybe I should wait a minute. You know, it's interesting that we're talking about this, and I can remember as a child in going to Sunday school and was taught this little song, "This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, and don't put it under a bundle." Now, they didn't know what they were really saying because they wanted to control the narrative, but really, that is true. This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine.
Yes,
And how something so innocent that they only understood, maybe a microscopic part of it, but it is so really true.
it
So
is.
let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Let it shine. Do you want us to touch bases a little bit on the Lionsgate?
Absolutely. That is so apropos to what we're speaking about today. And
It
so,
is indeed, and it's not something. Of course, we talk about energies that we feel are important, and there are so many energies out there. If we would actually follow everything, we wouldn't. We would need 48 hours for the 24,
right.
and that's not possible. But anyway, there are certain events every year, and we talk about Mercury retrograde because it's something that comes 3 4 times a year, and it affects many, and it can feel like a very chaotic energy. But the Lion's Gate, which started 8th
August.
of August, yes, is very very powerful too. And it's interesting because when we talk about the Mercury, that's why I brought up Mercury retrograde, is that what we see at a surface level, communication goes crazy. We can't kind of communicate technical stuff, chaos. But the energy of Mercury also is a part of, an introvert energy. So it's about going within and also doing things. The Lion's Gate, it's about personal empowerment, spiritual
Right.
awakening, global transformation. How about that?
Yes.
Um, and ways to harness this energy is actually things that we have been talking so many times about. Set intentions for what you want to manifest, clear
Yes.
intentions. Don't let what you think you know stop you. Just set your intentions. You don't
Yes.
have to be troubled over is that doable or not, because we can more than we actually think, right?
Yes.
Meditate and connect with higher realms, and going out in nature, um, sitting outside, for instance, an evening and looking up at the stars and meditating. How beautiful, because we are all star seeds as well. Of course, we're going to connect.
Yes.
Work with crystals. And I love the crystal you have on you
Yes.
today.
It said, "Where are you today?" And I haven't had this on probably in a year or more. And it just jumped out. Let's see if you can see it here. I got this in Hawaii, and but there are so many ways that we can reconnect. And I think with the Lions Gate opening, it's about manifestation,
Yeah.
manifestation of your journey, manifestation of prosperity, manifestation of so many different things, but realizing that we are the luminous light, the key to all of this connection. I mean, things can happen all around us, but if we don't become a part of it energetically, it just kind of floats over, and then someone else goes, wow, this is amazing, and everything else, and you go, well, what did you do? Well, I took a pause, I took a breath, I stepped into the now, I stepped into the silence, I touched my authentic soul. And you notice how I'm kind of hitting all the podcasts that we've had for the
Yeah, I know.
but that is
And
true.
it
It's
is
true.
true. And it's also engaging in your own personal shadow work. We
Very
need
much
to
so.
work on the shadows as well. And those are usually the things we feel extremely uncomfortable coming up at the surface level. But we need to look at them. Sometimes for certain things that we carry with us, maybe it's just coming up for us to make a new choice, right?
Mhm.
Become aware. Because without that awareness, how can we change? How can we do that? How can we expand? It's not possible, right? And also,
Exactly.
it's the Lion's Gate is performing rituals that you like. For instance, if you do your shadow work or want to manifest something, you can put an extra energy to it. If you I want to manifest abundance. I want more money into my life, or I want the love of my life coming into to me. And
Hmm.
and there's a different agenda to that too, but we're not going to talk about that here because
Right.
you need to be what you want to attract. But anyway, write it down on a paper and burn it. That is a simple
Yes.
ritual because you put intention and focus on that thing. It works either way if it's something you want to release or something you want to bring into your life.
Yes.
Celebrate your inner power, celebrate yourself, um, because you are important, by the way. And we said this a million times too. You are the most important person in your life and soul
That's
because
right.
it's a lifelong relationship. Don't ever forget that.
Yeah. And rituals, you may do things that you weren't even aware of. And I've said this many times, so if you've heard it before, people, I apologize, but um, I wanted a healing center, and I had a friend whose husband was a builder, and I saw some of the things he built, and I don't know why I did this. On my bathroom mirror, I put Rocky will build me my castle, and I will have all new furniture and all new belongings. And I just put it on there. I wasn't even going, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm thinking about it. I've got to get the energy just right. I just wrote it up there. It was almost like a thought. Okay, write this down to remember this. A year later, I'm up in Sedona, I mean, up in Payson with his wife, and we were doing a meditation group. And I get a call that my house burned down. And, you know, so and we get in the car, and I said to my friend, you're going to have to get used to seeing me when what I'm wearing because I don't know if I have anything left in my house. What had happened was that the energy was ready to give me what I wanted, but I hadn't been specific. I just said, and they said, well, she didn't give us an address. She didn't tell us what country. She just said she wanted one. So the best we can do is level the ground and then create something else. And in a year later, I had a healing center. I have a room that I can set 40 people in. I have a kitchen that 20 people can come around and learn how to make candles and all kinds of stuff. So it's your intention, but I had no idea that I was actually following a little bit of a path. So just be honest with yourself and be authentic. And it's also all about letting go of the stuff that doesn't serve you. And we all carry a lot of that, all those shadows. We do carry
Yes,
that.
we do. And by the way, when we talk about manifestation, what we very rarely think about is that we do create all the time. We create with our thoughts, with
That's
what we
right.
are saying, how I speak to you, how you speak to me, what I'm saying to myself, what I'm thinking about myself, what I'm expressing to someone else, all the time, my actions, everything. So we are continuously manifesting. And based on that, would you like to be aware of what exactly you are manifesting, right?
Yeah. Oops, be careful what you think, and I mean, and that has happened, and the more you get in tune with the field and in tune with yourself, and you have that instant creation, you go, whoa, where did that come from? And you go, well, you've been thinking about it, you've been talking about it, and we decided you needed it, so boom, here it is. So
And
the
that is
the
something.
yeah.
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you've just got to be impeccable with your speech, and the closer you get, and the more that you're in the field, you really have to be impeccable with your speech, because you may get what
Yes,
you ask for, and it may not be exactly what
exactly. And as you discover yourself and you dig within and you understand things and you grow spiritually, the faster you're going to manifest. So if in the past, 20 years from now, it took time to manifest something, right?
Yeah,
Now you can manifest it within a minute.
that's right.
But that is also a blessing because you
Yeah,
can correct things, correct your path, living it at the same time.
yes.
Perfect.
When I'm explaining this to the people I'm working with, and I said, think of it this way: this person was a bank robber, and for 20 years he was robbing banks and he never got caught. Cause and effect. He never got caught. He jaywalks, and then he gets caught for all the 20 years of the things. As you mature in your manifestation powers, when you think it, it comes quicker. It comes
Yeah.
quicker. There's not that long lap in between because you're in the field and you don't have to get to the field. You're already in it. So there again, be
Yeah.
impeccable with your speech. You know?
And within that field, we are all connected. That's where we are all one.
Yep,
And that's where we do also connect with our wisdom, right?
exactly.
So, are you feeling for getting a little bit hot?
Yes, I am. Hotter than normal in Arizona. Yes, I have the feeling that the simple questions are coming up.
Oh, how could you think about that?
Oh,
I'm popping a joke now. Are you intuitive?
no, not at all. It's just that where I'm sitting, I'm starting to get a little squirmy. So I have a feeling that it's time. It's test time. Pop quiz time. Okay.
Pop quiz. So, as we explore this theme for today, we have here a few reflections and simple questions that will help us and everyone out there to feel into the shift and into this topic. and what we feel about it, what's coming up for us, each and every one of us. And first question, what does a radiant world mean to you, and how do you sense its light within?
Oh, so simple. I really think I'm going to have to give you my definition of simple. Okay.
Sorry.
How does a radiant what does a radiant world mean to me? Living in a luminous world, I envision the ability to, when I speak, it is clearly understood by the other person, and when they speak, I clearly understand them. There is no miscommunication. There's no need to ah and ooh and this and everything else. It is because it's on the same fabric of energy. And how do I sense its light within? There again, it's energy. And you can feel the intent of another person. They may be saying, "Oh, I think everything is so lovely and we're going to do this and everything else." But their energy is causing all of this chaos. And with illumination, there's this gentle flow, and it's like a hug instead of a slap in the face. And I would say that very basically that's kind of like what it is. You know when it's coming from that place of illumination, and when it's coming from a place of, I'm just saying this to please you type thing. So there's a big difference.
There's a big difference, yes. Second question, which inner horizon are you being invited to illuminate right now? Simple question.
Something that I have carefully avoided for many, many, many years, uh, and I'm having to again deal on a personal one-to-one with a situation, and it's causing a little blisters, you know. But having known that I have been doing homework with myself, all the tools uh, that I have around me can be used, and I'm not alone. I'm not alone, and reaching into the strength of who I really am will move me through this. But I'd rather skip this class, and not do it. But I guess that's part of the journey. So
Yeah.
I will illuminate, and I will persevere, and I will utilize all of my wonderful tools. So
Yes, and the beautiful blessing right now is that you have so many tools at this point after so many years of doing this self work, because it's also
yes,
self work, teaching others, but also teaching yourself. So you can move through it.
yes,
If this would have been 30 years ago, you would have felt totally different.
I would have been totally devastated. So yes, it's. However, because we understand that we are not here to just be by ourselves, part of this journey is for the other parties that are involved in this to have an opportunity to grow and glow.
Yes.
So um, I am that catalyst also. So it's it's not easy being green. you
I
know.
know, I know.
So
Next, and we said this joke multiple times. Next time, maybe we look at the fine text in the contract before we sign up to come
yeah,
back.
well, I think they keep putting it in a different language or something.
Yes. So, third question: How
Okay.
can how can we transform everyday challenges into gateways of brilliance and grace?
Ah,
Simple question.
simple question. There again, all of the beautiful things that I have acquired on this journey of being able to step out of the situation and observe, being able to pause and take a breath, stepping into my meditative silence, stepping into nature, um, being able to find a loving solution to the challenges, and that gives me the ability to move through grace. I actually got a compliment from a doctor the other day, and which amazed me because doctors don't normally compliment. And she said, she says, you are a wonderful patient because you listen and you do what you want, just like your doctors did with you. And said, the reason that you are doing what you're doing now is because you followed the protocol, and you were tenacious enough to do it. And I said to her, I said, well, I've been called stubborn. And she says, that's a beautiful trait to have. And then she said, you have the ability to see a challenge, an adversity, as just something that's going to go on your to-do list. And you put it
Yes.
on the to-do list, and then you just do it. You don't
Yeah.
frizzle and frazzle. And I think having that connection that you develop when you start listening to that ethereal part of yourself and letting that light that's within you touch all of that wisdom. And
Exactly. And
you know,
instead of what the world usually teaches us, that don't think that you're anything, right? Um, don't think that you can do all of it.
that's right.
That is not in our way of thinking at all.
Uh-uh.
And this is also part of when we listen to the inner core, the diamond within that holds all this information, our light within, because there's nothing we can't do. Maybe, and we talked about this before, maybe we will do it in a different way, not like 100 people are doing it. We have our own unique way of doing it, but we're still going
Yes.
to do it. But because it's funny, I'm just like you. Okay. Yeah, I was 5, 10 minutes. I don't have time for this. And then, okay, I do what I can with what I currently have. And then I look
that's
forward and I'm going to conquer this because I know I can.
that's right.
I can.
I can. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, fourth question: what role does community play in expanding our shared luminosity?
Oh man. This is galactic here, because each one of us, as we step into our illumination and recognize who and what we really are, is so important to the community, because we are part of the new evolution, and our contribution is vital. That is the one piece that they need to be able to build on something else. And when I'm talking with my clients and with my meditation group, we are being called at this particular time. This is what humanity has been working towards for millennium. We are on that cusp. We are
Sorry.
we are asked to
Sorry.
not only be part of the community, but to be part of humanity, to be part of the evolutionary leap that uh, that we are taking now. So it is extremely important to let your light shine and step into the luminous communities that are around. And
Yes.
and then one more candle makes it one more brilliance. And
Yes,
uh,
and in the process of discovering the light within you, your diamond core, or working on yourself, walking this path, it's very common that we find periods that we feel like we may not um, have many friends or acquaintances, or many people around. Don't fear that either. No one is ever going to be alone. We're not alone. But
right.
sometimes during times of transformation, maybe those who are not in alignment with us any longer, they fall out automatically sometimes,
Yeah.
and others are coming in, right? It's about moving forward, and we're never alone. I promise. Promise, promise, promise.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
last question. When you imagine the future glowing with harmony, what feeling arises first?
Oh my goodness. This warm, warm, warm feeling of unconditional acceptance, of understanding, of bliss, bliss.
Bliss. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. It touched you also, right? I can see
Yes.
that. Yes.
Yes.
So, and as these reflections settle in our hearts, let's anchor the energy with a gentle affirmation. Do you want to read it?
May I?
Please.
I open my heart to the light of new horizons. Every breath expands my awareness. Every step reveals more of my brilliance. I am guided by love, anchored in peace, and inspired by the infinite glow of creation. The world reflects my inner radiance, and together we rise. Together we shine.
Oh, thank you. That was stunning. So, is there anything else we want to touch upon here before we wrap this up?
um, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. I'm gonna let it shine, shine,
Oh, that's
shine.
beautiful. Sometimes the world has gotten it right, right?
Yeah,
So, one last thing from me. When it comes to us shining our light, think of unconditional love. Love without any kind of demands or anything. No punishment, no karma in the sense of you going to pay for what you said to me yesterday, those worldly things, right?
right.
Because if we choose to detach from those things, there's a meaning. And I'm even going to say that for me, I have a feeling that a lot of these texts, and I'm more familiar with the Bible, of course, and what Jesus said. He's for me, he's coming with unconditional love, and he's not judging. There's no judgment. It's not
Mhm.
like you had to go and do bad things. What happens, in my perception, is that we are human beings here, and sometimes we maybe gossip about a neighbor, even though we try to show that we are good people, right? Or we do something bad to someone. That is not karma in the sense that it's going to make you a fly in your next life. Now we come into the Eastern ways of thinking, right? No,
Right.
but karma, you can think of it as choices and consequences of those choices. So if you have a mean intention with someone, yes, that's going to come back to you, not as a punishment, but for you, because you sent that out, it's going to be like the boomerang coming back to you, right?
Right.
So you have to take the consequences about what you did. But if you make a mistake, because we all make mistakes, no one is going to punish you for that, right? But you may actually have something coming back so you can see that, okay, oh, maybe that wasn't a good choice. Maybe I choose differently next time. But in those senses, I have the feeling that a lot of those scriptures are telling us things, but they have been interpreted by man, meaning man is the filter. Man is going to interpret as man finds convenient for man itself, right?
Exactly.
So
I,
that's
yes.
the only thing I wanted to add today.
Yes. Oh,
So find upcoming and past episodes at youtube.com/ at cosmic guardians 111 slash streams and youtube.com/ at angel place on earth slash streams. And you can also find upcoming and past episodes at angelplaceonearth.com upcoming dash past. Connect with us, read articles, find out everything you want about Kareen and myself at angelplaceonearth.com/cosmic guardians. And you find Kareen Mooney at liquidenergyhealing.com. We did a couple of series, 2025 last year. So maybe it's time to consider kind of a series again here. We did
could be.
one episode for one series because we did the four agreements last year and we did the Celestial Prophecy. The four agreements also have a fifth agreement. So we did that in the beginning of this year.
Hmm.
You find our series at angelplaceonearth.com/series cosmic guardians. And our next upcoming show with Cosmic Sis-Stars, the glowing Cosmic Sis-Stars, and Miss Corinne Mooney and myself, is going to be next Wednesday, August 19th. And we talk about ethereal empowerment, discovering, acknowledging, and harnessing your etheric gifts. That's going to be interesting.
Wow.
We do go live for you every Wednesday in US and Europe and every Thursday in Australia. And as our luminous conversation comes to a gentle close, may the light we've shared continue to ripple through your heart and into the world around you, spreading the light.
Mhm.
Each horizon you meet is a mirror of your own brilliance, a reminder that radiance is not a destination, but a way of being, a way of living. Let us keep walking together in wonder, expanding the glow of love, peace, and truth wherever we go. Until next time, sorry, stay bright, stay open, and keep illuminating the path for all who journey beside you. With infinite love, peace, and joy, we see you, we hear you, we honor you, we
We
feel you,
love it.
we love you, We appreciate you. From your cosmic sisters, Corinne and Anne. Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.